Hey, everybody, what's up? It's StarDelta9. I'm coming at you live from the spiritual room. Happy Sunday to you all. I hope you're well. Gotta adjust this pillow a little bit. I wanted to come out and say hi to everybody. I haven't been out for a minute. I'm going to light a candle here and tell you my story. I have a very beautiful story to tell. I woke up this morning. I'm having a fabulous day already. And what time is it? It's not even noon. So that's awesome. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. This channel is for 18 older cannabis and cannabis enthusiasts. And if you are not one, can you please exit the building? I don't want to get in trouble with Google. They've demonetized 140 of my videos that had parental guidance on them. So I'm not going to buck the system. So happy Sunday to you all. Let me get my phone really quick. Hold on one sec. Can you hear okay? Is my volume okay? There we go. Now you can probably hear me, huh? You probably couldn't hear me a minute ago. That's okay. I'm going to take a rip. Cheers, everybody. Ooh, that's tasty. I lit a midnight jasmine candle and an abundance candle. And I love the smell of both of them. They're beautiful. So let me tell you my story. I'm so excited about it. I have a couple pictures here. I'll post them because I'm going to do a video on it so other people can see it that want to see it, right, and know this information. So I'll show you. Let me see if I have a better one. Can you see them? That is an albino praying mantis. And they're indigenous, according to the research that I did, in this area, in my area. Hi, Elderberry. So I took a picture of him, several pictures of him. Oh, wrong way, right? Upside down, crawling in the bush, and then up on the brick in somewhere near my cannabis, and then there he's praying, right? And I'm like, okay. First of all, I did a video and I said, what is this, an albino caterpillar, right? Because I had never seen a praying mantis before in my life. And so I Googled it because, well, me and a friend Googled it because they were with me. And it turns out it was a praying mantis. And we caught it right in the molten stage when they molt. And when they molt, what they're doing is they're it's kind of like a snake shedding its skin, right? They're dying of one death and transitioning into a rebirth of a new beginning, and they're shedding their skin. Well, the praying mantises, they change colors. They turn albino white when they do this transition. And he showed up in my yard probably 3 days ago. Probably 3 days now. I felt something on the lower part of my leg tickling me, right? And I thought maybe it was just a fly or something. So I just swished down at it and I didn't pay it any more mind, right? And it wasn't until yesterday that I actually saw what it was in the yard. So he jumped on me, and then he jumped on Mr. yesterday. So I wanted to Google it and I wanted to see what it meant, because I've had quite a few mystical experiences with animals: a white owl, an eagle, two eagles, one going this way and one going this way, right like a figure eight above the windshield of my car, to where I had to literally pull over and stop my car or I would have hit them. And you could see the color of their beaks and the color of their tails. So I've been having some crazy mystical experiences with spirit animals since my awakening. And now the praying mantis shows up in my yard, and I Google it and I research it, and I find that the praying mantis, from Greek to Egyptian, all the way down in, the sectors of religion and spirituality, Buddhism and things like that, each cultural system, the Greeks to all the way down to Christians and Buddhism and so on, stated that this praying mantis was a specific thing. The Egyptians, when they saw it, they would immediately bow down on their knees and begin to pray, because the praying mantis is praying, right? It states that I'll tell you what he means, but that's what it shows, that he was praying. And when I showed you the picture on my phone, and I noticed him yesterday after he had been crawling on me, which I had no idea. He's praying, right? He's praying, and he's albino, as you can see. And so we watch him for a little bit. I videoed a little bit, even saying it's a white albino caterpillar or cricket or grasshopper, right? Something of that nature, because I had not seen one of these. And Mister's looking at it and he's going, I never seen anything like that either. I'm like, what the fuck is it, right? So lo and behold, I find out what it is. And the praying mantis is medicine, spiritual medicine, apparently. A praying mantis medicine will come to you when you're experiencing some changes and difficulties in your life. The insect is asking you to listen closely to your inner voice and have a clear vision about your future. This little ally, they say, will transform your life when you listen closely. The insect medicine is asking me to add more color and music in my life. Okay. And part of the reason that is because a praying mantis actually camouflages itself from green to different colors to white, right? And it does this to protect itself from predators. So Spirit's saying to me, just as the mantis change in color, right, to camouflage itself, Spirit wants me to change my color when I undergo the transformation I'm going through, and that this is just a phase, right, in my life. And when a praying mantis jumps on you in your life, you're supposed to sit up and pay attention, and be most observant of the transformative jump that I am taking in my life, right? And then yesterday, Mister came over and it jumped on him. So he's being asked to listen and to change his colors and camouflage himself and go inside and listen, right? Because he's going through a transitional phase in his life too, right? He and I were together 30 years. That's a transitional phase. That's a death. That's a death of a spouse. And both spouses, while they're alive, have to go through the 5 stages of the death and dying process. It's a normal process. You can't avoid it, right? So he's going through a transitional phase in his life too, right? And when this praying mantis jumped on him yesterday, it had already been in my yard 3 days. How you doing? It had already been in my yard for 3 days. It had jumped on my leg, and had I been a little more observant and wasn't just meditating, right? I wouldn't have just swished it off of me. What's up, my fellow? What's up? How you doing? We are talking about a beautiful praying mantis that leaped into my life 3 days ago. And I was talking about the significance of it, right? And so I wanted to share it with you guys because they're saying that it's just like the insect. It keeps its focus on God, right? Because it's a praying mantis, right? It's constantly has its focus on God, right? Spirit, divine, consciousness, whatever you identify with as God, as that being, right? And so, with its constant praying hands and praying, it keeps God is asking me to keep my sight on God and to keep my faith in God and to know God, spirit, consciousness, can move mountains, right? And so, you must keep the faith. And so, when I was sharing these things with you guys about my other spirit animals, the owl and the eagles, and the way they were flying, and spirits bringing me mystical experiences in I'm going to have to say, the only way she can't write me a note, right? She can't write me a note and put it in my mailbox, and she can't knock on my door and whisper something in my ear, right? So spirit, divine, source has to communicate to us any way they can, and it's generally personal, right? And it'll only mean something to you, the symbolism. And I didn't know that at first when I awokened, because I was seeing all this strange symbolism, and I thought I was losing my mind. And instead of asking myself, what's the significance of that? What is the significance of that? What is the significance of that, right? I started to investigate those things. What is the significance of the owl? Why did it show up and sit there in that tree for a good 45 minutes? I meditated over an hour, and I knew something was watching me. And it was the most beautiful snow white owl. I've never seen a snow white owl here in Paso Robles, not in the Central Coast. Other owls, but not a snow white one. Even on the lake, I never saw a snow white one. Okay. And then when the eagles pulled me over in the street, I had to literally pull over. I was going to kill them. I would have hit them with my car. Right. And then when I had the awakening, there's a mark on my forehead, and it went this way and this way. And when I went to church, I showed it to my pastor. That's another mystical experience, I think, because I said to him, "What is this?" Right. And I meant it. Right. And he said, "Oh, you've been set aside." I can't tell you what that did to me, because I literally broke out into tears, and I sat down in the pew, and he's like, well, what did I say? And I'm like, to me, in my Christian upbringing, a setting aside by God means I've done something bad and I'm doomed. And oh my God, he fucking sat down with me and he said, "Oh, sister, you got it twisted," right? You got it twisted. God has set you aside because there's something specific in your walk in this life, on this planet, that you're going to do to lead others to a spiritual awakening of their own. That's what that meant. At the time, I didn't fucking know it because I was spinning and going through it, right? Okay. Well, thank you for coming in. You're seeing 1234, 420, 710, 123, 1111, etc. Those are idiosyncrasies. Those are that is spirit speaking to you. So those numbers are probably significant to you. Maybe it's a birth date. Maybe it's a death anniversary that you didn't grieve. Maybe it's a traumatic event of a date you cannot recall. right? So it's all part of an investigation we have to have, right? And so Spirit's asking me, I'm going to put this down here, excuse me, to please investigate everything I'm sending you, right? Because I'm sending you so many things that and it's so subtle, and you can, it's very easy for your egoic mind, if you're still operating on your ego, to sneak in through the back door, right? And do something, right? If you're still slumbering, it's very easy. When you're awakened, your ego is strong, and while it's dying off, right, there's residual within the cells. They're within the psychological bodies of my body, because we are a geno after all, and genos are made of cells. And I have been programming my genos in my cells and my chemical factory in my body to run on a fight flight system 24/7. My career as a trauma nurse, my career as a therapist, my relationship, right? My always needing to please everyone else but myself. I was always on that fight flight mode. I never gave the parasympathetic system an opportunity to come in and calm me down, right? And a constant of that nature in our body causes dis-ease in our body. That's why we get sick. That's why we get cancer. That's why we get a virus. We are a geno, a cell. Okay. Now I'm going to really flip the script and blow your mind here. I don't really give a damn if someone says or thinks I'm nuts. It's not my problem. It's theirs. I've been a psychic since I was knee-high to a freaking grasshopper. And I knew it since I played in a sandbox all by myself. And my mom said, there's 30 kids over there and you're in the sandbox by yourself. Well, how is it you entertain yourself by yourself in a sandbox all that time? I said, well, I talk to my spirits. I talk to my guides. And I don't even know what I fucking called them. I think I called them imaginary names. I gave them names, right? And she thought I was losing my fucking shit, right? And so she takes me to a lady called Ray of Fast. Well, I thought she was a counselor, right? And she sits me down in her office, and she's talking to me, and she's asking me all these questions, and I'm being the obliging child, and I'm answering her, and she's recording it all, right? And so she says, okay, honey, you can go out there. Your mom's waiting. And so I go out there, and my mother's waiting, and my mom goes in, and she talks to the lady, and then she comes out, and I said, so am I okay? What they say? Am I okay? Am I good? Am I well? What's wrong with me? And she said, no, honey, nothing's wrong with you. I just wanted you to come and talk to the lady, right? And she never told me. She never told me anything that the lady told me, right? She suppressed it within me and said, you don't see those things. You're not talking. Stop imagining that. That's not reality. And that's what she did. That's what she told me. You better get back over here into reality and not stay in La La Land. And so she would actually make me go and play with other kids that I didn't want to play with. I could play with a Tonka truck in the sandbox by myself for hours and talk to my friends, right? And so I knew something was wrong. And it wasn't until I was going to school with my mom in the back seat of a car, and we ran across a railroad track, and I felt the bumps and I heard the noise, and that's all I remember. And I hear my sister, who's 3 years younger than me, screaming. She's not even in kindergarten yet, right? She's screaming. And my mom's like, my mom's screaming at me because she thinks I'm having a seizure or something's happening to me, right? And I don't remember anything except coming to and looking at her and saying, you got to go home because there's a note on the door. Your mom is dead. And she said, what the fuck? Right? And so she drove home after she dropped me off at school. She got home, there was a note on the door that her real mother had passed away. Now she's listening to me. Okay. About a month later, I go into her room because my father is a long distance haul truck driver. And I woke up in the middle of the night, about 2:00, somewhere around there. I can't remember the exact time because I was still a very young child. And I saw a vision of my father on the back of a rig, like a bed of a rig, and he was unhooking meats, like big slabs of meats, and he slipped and he broke his hip, and they flighted him to a out-of-state hospital that he was in to have emergency hip surgery, right? And so my mom's sleeping. I go bang on her door and I said, Dad is here. He's in the hospital and he's having surgery. You need to call them. Right? And she did. And my dad was there having surgery. So now my mom is sitting the fuck up and she's paying attention, but she's still suppressing everything. It's not happening. Da, 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 da. She knows it's happening because my mom is a white witch. She's an identical twin, and her twin is the first one who told me that. 2121, that's an idiosyncrasy. 2121. That's pretty amazing right there. So I have psychic abilities, okay? So now I'm going to flip the script on you guys. I read divinations. I am learning the esoteric teachings of Christ. If you look at the Bible, it talks about esoteric teachings of Christ. Divinations, mythology, mysticism, witches, tarot cards, crystals, Reiki, energy healing. All those things fall under mystical, right? Mythology and modalities that people take on because they learn their gifts. They learn their gifts through their soul's path. Through awakening, Spirit gives you gifts. And those gifts are what your main purpose is in this life, on this earth, to walk, right? And so you're shown those gifts. And at first, those gifts are going to blow you out of the water. And you're going to wonder where the hell they came from and not know. Like the energy healing I do. I had no idea I was an energy healer. None whatsoever. I went to a Reiki circle trying to find peace through my troubles, right? Just trying to find some mental peace. And I had a Reiki session, and through that I found it out. Not by me, by the instructor, by the master. They were doing me, right? And I'm sure I was really haphazardous, right? Because I can feel it. It's like a flat tire. When somebody has a blockage, it's a flat tire. It'll go smooth. And then all of a sudden they got a flat tire, right? And she was doing me. And then she went to take a break and came back to get water or something. And she came back and she said, "Oh, that's weird." And I said, "What?" And she said, "Oh, nothing." And she didn't tell me. She still to this day hasn't told me what it was she felt. Okay. And since then, I've been attuned as a Reiki practitioner and do many clients of my own. And she still hasn't told me what she felt, right? Sometimes energy healers, I've never specifically asked her, and she's never specifically told me. I'm sure she would. Mary's very kind, and I'm sure she would. But I already know what she meant. Then had no clue. So all these things I'm saying to you are mystical experiences that I am having in this world. And this world is a construct, right? This world's a construct, and these are forms. And God says you get to play on the playground of the world, the universe of life. You get to write your own script. You get to be the actor of that script. You get to put in all the props you want. You get to take out actors, put in actors, quit jobs, take jobs, buy house. You get to do whatever the frick you want. Free will, right? But I am the light. I am the Christ consciousness within you, right? I am the Christ consciousness in you, right? And so that's what when you're awakened, all the things we do in our life, the biggest accomplishment in your life will be awakening to the delusion of thought, and that you are not the thoughts you think or the emotions you feel or the body. The body is material, is mass. When particle and mass come together and they synchronize themselves, and the right and the left hemisphere of your brain begin to coherently sync themselves to the heart, you have heart-mind coherence. And so it's bliss. That's what it is. It's bliss. You just coasting. You just coasting. I lose myself in a flower, in a praying mantis in my yard. I just saw the most beautiful hummingbird, and I can see it so clearly. I can see its damn wings fluttering so fast, and I can see the lines in between them. I've never seen that, right? I'm present. I'm in the now, right? And so I was thinking, well, let me tell you what I see. What the other, so you guys will keep saying, well, what the fuck was she gonna say? I'm gonna say this. I don't want you to fucking think I'm crazy, because I'm not. I see cells coming towards me. Cells. They are a cell, and they are chains of cells. They are complex cells, and they are multidimensional cells. We are a cell, and we are a genome, and we have a genetic DNA chain of 64 markers. And those 64 markers mean something. Go look it up on the Kabbalah tree. Isn't it amazing? The Kabbalah tree and your DNA are identical. Identical. Go look at the image of the woman in China with the, I don't even think it's a woman. I forget the name. Please forgive me, Lord. I don't know the name. That looks like an elephant trunk, and she's got many arms behind her, and they sit and they worship her, right? That's an archetype of the gods, right? And that is you, Christ consciousness. You are Christ consciousness. You just don't know you are. You just don't know. So I thought I'd share some things with you guys about these mystical experiences and put them on record. I've written them down. I've told people since day one what I'm seeing. I've not hidden it. I know what I'm seeing, and I'm not crazy, and I'm not blind, right? And it's in full-blown fucking color. And it is color that I've not ever seen in my entire life. It's color like you cannot believe. You will say, I've never seen that color in my life, and it's red. Or you'll eat a tomato and you'll go, I've never had a tomato that tastes like that. And yeah, you've had tomatoes, but you were never awakened when you ate them. A mind cannot experience the taste of food if it's not present. If I'm standing at the counter and I'm gobbling down my food just to feed the body and move to the next point, I'm not even tasting the food. I'm not even enjoying the food. And food is a highly spiritual part of our lives and what we put in our body, right? And so if we're putting shit in our body and we're eating like that, we're not honoring the food that consciousness or God is providing for us, right? We're not honoring that. And that's probably why the food tastes so delicious. I've literally salivated all over myself eating a fucking peach. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I can't help myself. This is so goddamn good. And I couldn't help myself, and I didn't care. And I sat right there and let it run down my face and licked my fingers. And I enjoyed every piece of it. And then I licked the pit. Your flower and your avatar is only 1/8 inch. It was on the grass. I noticed the a purple, looking down. It's a beautiful tiny flower. The flower in my avatar, the avatar on your screen, that's, I would probably need a magnifying glass to see that. And does that flower, is that, or that color, is that significant to you, that tiny little flower? I love tiny little flowers, especially like tiny little daisies or yellow flowers. But maybe the purple, or maybe the size of the flower or the type of flower it is means something. So investigate the color, investigate the flower, what style it is, what brand, what kind of flower it is. And then things will kick from there. Things will just automatically kick in your head, right? They'll just kick in. It's like, I want to recommend a few really good reads and a few of really good people that you could follow that know what they're talking about. Oh, see how you notice things like that? Isn't that odd how you notice things? I do that too, though. I'll be like, how come I've missed that so many times? You're like, I have no idea why I've missed that so many times, but I've done it too. It's because we are so wrapped up in autoplay. Right? We're so wrapped up in autoplay. We get out of bed, we slap our alarm, we hit autoplay, we go in the bathroom, we wash our face, we sit on the toilet. While we're sitting on the toilet, we're thinking about the coffee pot. And the next thing you know, you're at the coffee pot and you got a cup of coffee in your hand and I got to do this, and you're on your to-do list and you just fucking got out of bed. You just got out of bed. And we run like that fanatically, right? I know I did. And it won't be until you stop running on the autoplay program, the Judy Jetson, I call her. I call her Judy Jetson robot, right? I'm not running on ego. I don't have an agenda. I don't have any judgment. I don't have any bias. I don't have any opinion. I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I'm not attached to anything. I'm not, and here's why. Because what I have, right, is coming from inside of me. It's coming from the inside of me. I cannot get it in a person. I can't get it in a place. I can't get it in a thing. Ask me. I tried for years to find my love, my happiness, my joy, my worthiness. All of those things we're all seeking, right? In people, places, and things. You will have a temporary fix with that situation, and you will temporarily be appeased. And when that appeasement wears off, you will be off and going to the next thing that's going to make you whole, complete you, make you feel worthy, love, compassion, joy, forgiveness, right? That does not come from the outside of us. It comes from the inside. And you can't get it. You can't buy it. You can't steal it. You can't take it from somebody. Nobody can give it to you. All I can do is give you signposts. That's all I can do. Is give you signposts. And I'm not mad at anybody. I'm frustrated because I'm trying so hard to, and maybe that's my problem. I'm trying too hard, number one. And number two, to get it analytically, wrap my shit around it, right? It's futile, okay? Number one. Number two, you will not analytically be able to wrap your mind around what I'm saying in an understanding, right? Because it's not a form. It's not a soda can. If I say this is a soda can, the very first thing you're going to have an automatic response back to me. I don't like Diet Coke. I like Diet Pepsi. I don't like Diet Coke at all. I don't drink Diet Coke. I drink water. Opinions, biased opinions, and you're going to give them to me whether I fucking want them or not, right? We all do it by no fault of our own. We don't even know we're doing it. And that's why this is so important to me to get it across to you guys. I ran around in a 31-year relationship. On the 22nd of this month will be 31 years that Victor and I were together. We're still not legally divorced. We're in divorce court, but we're not legally divorced. My last name is still his last name, right? So I don't know why this happened the way it happened. Maybe it had to happen this way to get him to wake up to what he was doing. Maybe it was the catalyst for him learning. If we enable people, how do they learn? They don't. We enable them. We give them a pass, and we keep enabling. That's codependent behavior. And it will bite you in the ass, and you will regret it. Trust me, I'm a codependent. I know firsthand what it is, right? And not only am I a codependent, I was a goddamn addict to morphine from this fucking back surgery I had, right? And my walk through life has been tough, bitches. My life has been tough. And I don't say bitches to you guys like bitches. I say it to myself like my life has been, I put myself through some shit. And I did that. Me, not Victor, not my mom, not my son, nobody, me. Me. I did that. When you awaken, and you will, because it's your God-given right to do so, everybody's, right? Free will play. If you don't want to be awakened, you won't be awakened. If you want to be awakened, then you have free will, you can. Right? And if you work towards the steps and the signposts that are given to you and you take the lead on them, you will, without a shadow of a doubt. I don't even need to worry of this, right? I don't, because I know it for a fact. And how do I know it for a fact? I never knew about a spiritual awakening. I didn't even know you could have one. How come I wasn't taught that in school? How come I wasn't taught that in church? How come my parents didn't tell me that? How come the pastor didn't tell me that? Where in the Bible does it tell me that? It doesn't. It does in the Bible, and now I see it, but then I didn't. Why? Because I was slumbering. I was unaware, living in a delusion of the mind, run on the Judy Judson's ego, boop, autoplay, and everything I did hurt me and every fucking person around me. Why? To teach me. That's why. To teach me a lesson. It's like you said, I can give a fairy. Yeah, it's a fairy. It's exciting. Yes, it's a fairy. See? It's a fairy, goddammit. I'm a fairy. I have fairies everywhere. I am a fairy. I am. And you can ask my people, which I don't have many of them, right? Since the gate, since March 28, 2019, when I got out of my bed and I looked at my husband and I said, I don't know what you did to me last night, but I think you smacked me in the head with a baseball bat and stole my soul, because I don't know who the fuck I am, but I can see everything you have been doing to me. And not only that, I've been letting you do it to me. I didn't even know you were doing it to me. I didn't even know. That's why I had the awakening and he didn't. My intentions were pure, his were not. His love is pure, but his intentions for the things he gets in life and the way he gets them in life is not done on an ethical basis, and it causes karma and pain and suffering for him. And that, by the very retrospect of it, trickled down to me. And it's almost like you're 31 years, almost like you're fucking programmed in your brain, man, right? And you need a goddamn lobotomy, right? You need I've even said that to him. The flower is Veronica Priscilla, and the tiniest I've ever seen. I'd like some of you give a fairy. You never knew it existed. See? Do an experiment, okay? Just do an experiment. I'm not asking you to change your opinion. I'm not asking you to change your beliefs. I don't give a shit what color your skin is. I don't care about your nationality. I don't care if you're educated. I don't give a shit if you're old. I don't give a shit if you're young. I don't care. You should know this. It's your God-given right to know it. And if no one told you, ask yourself why. And then go look at Joe Dispenza, Rewiring the Brain, Epigenetics. That's the same goddamn shit I'm seeing. I see the cells. I see the genomes. They're coming to me. Why are they coming to me? Because I'm a 40-year fucking nurse and a respiratory therapist, and I know how to explain this shit. And not only on a fucking layman's terms, but on a scientific one. I've been trained and gone to college. I was a goddamn professional college student. There's a reason Spirit's showing me this shit. Let me ask you this. Go ask your friends. Go ask just five of your friends. And if you have five friends, you can really, really call your friends and would tell you the truth. Ask them two things. Have you heard of a spiritual awakening? And when they answer you, then say, do you have a voice in your head that talks to you? And come back and leave a comment and tell me what they said. They're going to say, no, I have not heard of a spiritual awakening unless they're enlightened or someone has recently told them or by chance that you just run across somebody that knows, right? 98% of the people I run across do not know, okay? Including family to complete fucking strangers, okay? So there's some validity to it. And then ask them about the voice in their head. And watch how many of them say, a what? A what? A what? The voice in your head that keeps fucking telling you shit when you lay down at night and it won't shut the fuck up and it won't let you go to sleep. That voice. No, you fucking liar. We all have a habitual mind pattern we were brought into this world with, and it's called upbringing. And we fragmented that according to our upbringing and our belief systems. They're not fact, which is what we were taught. That's a fact. Right? So they're going to do one of two things. They're going to deny they have a voice in the head. Because if you have a voice in the head, that means I'm schizophrenic. That means I'm fucking crazy. That means I must be seriously sick and need to go see someone. No, you're not sick. You don't have schizophrenia. You're not fucking crazy. We all have a voice in our head that talks to us and tells us shit, right? And it usually tells you shit based on your upbringing, and it's your way or the fucking highway. When someone's talking to you, just ask yourself one time in a conversation, do I have an automatic response for that person when they just opened their mouth? You probably do. And that automatic response you have for that person is biased. And it's biased on your upbringing, your limited belief systems, your religions, and the isms you were raised around, and whether you're awakened. And it's going to be the truth. And it's your truth. And that's what it is. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying to you guys. 9% of the time, people are going to say, no, they don't know what a spiritual awakening is. They never even fucking heard of it. I've never even met anyone that's had one or even discussed it. Right? And then they're going to say, I don't have a voice in my head. I'm here to tell you, I had a voice in my head, and we all do. We all do. Okay. And it's called ego. And it's an egoic. It's like a fucking box. We carve that little box out for ourselves, and we're running on that egoic pattern that we were taught. That's the Judy Jetsons running your body. No wonder you have disease in your body, right? No wonder I had no fucking energy. I was always feeling sick, had allergies. I was always taking allergy pills. Something was always going on, right? Since my awakening, I haven't taken one allergy pill. I shit like clockwork. Sorry about the expression and personal information, but it's true, and I never did. I eat when I'm hungry. I sleep when I need to sleep, and the rest, I'm in consciousness. And what if there's an action to take? If I have to get up and go to work, or I have to go pay a bill, or put something in the mailbox, I complete the action, and when it's done, I'm back in, and I'm out in nature, and I'm reading, and I'm spending time with the animals, and I'm looking at what precious fucking life is. That's living. And I feel this. I can't even. I have no expression for it. I'm sorry, I don't. I feel the. I see you, darling. I feel this unsurmountable amount of unconditional love that just will fucking overwhelm you and floor you. And oh. It will floor you, okay? And you'll go, whoa, this is what I've been searching for my entire life. In a car, in a job, in a college, in a fucking whatever. And I never could find it. You're not going to either. You're not going to find it in exterior things, because it comes from the interior of us. It's Christ consciousness, Buddha. You are the divine light, and the divine light sits within you. Do you know this is the physical mass? This is the physical mass of our body. Your actual spirit. Hello, Ray. Hello, Kitchen and Grill. Your actual spirit is the ethereal body that surrounds you. And they have photography for that. So just go look at the photography of a slumbering individual. They practically have no ethereal body, and they have auto-programmed their body a chemical auto-program response on an autoplay of the egoic mind that has put them in a fight-flight chemical system under the brain's chemical fight-flight. You're constantly either saying, I'm going to get my ass killed, or I'm going to haul ass out of here, right? It's one or the other. You cannot run on that mode for long without causing a dis in your body. And if you cause a discomfort, a dysfunction, now you're causing disease. DIS hyphen EASE. Why do you think it's spelled like that? This is the beginning, like epi, right? Like the top of, the beginning of. And ease is, we want you to have no dis-ease. We want you to have ease. Ease is the root word of the whole fucking word. Ease. Spirit wants us to have ease. Hello, my Ray. Hello. I love your channel. Spiritual depression is very real. It is very real. Spiritual depression is like that. That is considered the dark night of the soul, Ray. And it will pass. I promise you, it will pass. Just let it be. Don't engage it. Don't give it thought. Don't walk it like a dog. That's what I say. I have some analogies I use, and I don't know where I got them. Spirit must have gave them to me. But if you're in your mind and you're thinking about a state of depression, because I've had severe bouts of depression myself, so I know you. I feel you. And if I got a thought of I'm worthless, why should I even try to keep plugging along? The same thing is going to happen to me over and over and over again, right? Why should I even try? Well, that's a biofeedback system that you keep re-looping back on yourself called the hamster wheel. And the more thought you have, the more emotion it's going to cause, and it's going to cause a bad emotion, and that's going to cause another thought, and that's going to cause another emotion, and it's going to be a constant biofeedback loop that's going to be on you, and you are going to be down the fucking rabbit hole. So if I can show you or tell you anything about that, the one thing you should do is put some headphones on when you start to hear that motherfucker speaking to you and you want it to shut the fuck up. Put some headphones on. Leave your information on my channel. I'll send you a beautiful link for a beautiful meditation you can do. It's not, you have to look at anything. You don't have to say anything. All you have to do is shut your fucking eyes and listen for 10 minutes a day. That's it. Anybody can do that, right? And if you do that over a period of time, subtly, it will disappear, my friend Ray. It will disappear. So in the meantime, what you do is, if you get a thought, I want you to say these things to you, because they're going to mean something and they're going to be stored in your head. And so when you get that next thought about this, that's going to come to your mind. And if you do it, watch how fast the thought goes away, Ray. Okay. If you're sitting there and all of a sudden this really crazy thought overcomes you and it causes this tremendous amount of emotional pain and depression to you, sit down. I don't give a shit if you're at work. Sit down on the floor or go to the bathroom, excuse yourself, or do whatever you need to do, right? And sit down and take 3 breaths. Deep breath in, deep breath out, deep breath in, deep breath out. Close your fucking eyes and say, I am not my thoughts. That is a loose dog on a leash, and I'm not engaging it. And go, and walk that fucking thought like a dog on a leash, right? You approach a dog on the street that has a leash on and a collar, but there's no owner. You're not going to engage that dog, are you? You don't know if it's going to bite you. You don't know if it has rabies, and you don't know if someone's setting you up to go out there and steal, do whatever. You don't know, right? So you're not going to engage it. You're going to walk on by. That's going to be your fight flight mode, right? The thought, think about the thought as that fucking dog and walk it. And I guarantee you, you do that 2 or 3 times, you will notice the thought will subside and leave as quickly as it came in. It works. It works. So works. And you have to try to remember, we are programmed to believe that we are everything we were taught. If you were programmed to believe that, you can be deprogrammed because it's a behavior now. It's not a mental thing you're doing. You have trained your body to respond in a specific behavior, and that behavior releases specific chemicals in your body that cause harm and disease. So it's to your benefit to not do it. If you have a momentum of thought like that, it will deteriorate the body very rapidly before its time, right? You've seen, I'm sure, people that have died young before their time and their body has just given out on them. Or you saw somebody one day and they were in their mid 50s and looked perfectly healthy, and the next day you find out they passed away in their sleep. You know, when you have a spiritual awakening, you no longer have the habitual thought patterns in your brain. Spirit will take away the suffering in your body like clockwork, and it will fall off you magically, like butter. It'll drop off you like butter. I literally saw black balls dropping off me. And I told people about it. I said, do you fucking see that? Do you fucking see that? And they were literally bowling balls black. Black is the ace of spades. And I said, what the fuck is that? It's negativity. It's black. Look at the yin and the yang. You can't have the white without the black. You can't have the black without the white. Is the white fish chasing the black one's tail to kill it, or is the black one chasing the white one's tail to kill it? Because if the white one kills the white one won't exist. If the black one kills the white one won't exist. That's the polarity of life. And where you give your energy is where your energy goes. And if you feed it negativity and you come from a place of lack, that's exactly what you're going to get back, because that's what you're asking for. That's what you're saying. You're telling your body you want. You're not bucking the system in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not saying that lightly. I understand how difficult it is, because I am as stubborn as they come. Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea how stubborn I am, right? And I kept telling you guys I was tethered to a fucking fire hydrant down the road 30 miles with a fucking chain and chains and locks, right? And Spirit's dragging me. And Spirit, when you have your awakening, you don't know when it's coming. And so Spirit has that. Just like Spirit pulls the plug on us, right? Says, this body has served its purpose here. You're 95. I'm going to take you and put you in a new body. And you're going to go on and do something new, because you're not dying. There's no death. There's no death. There's no such thing. There's no man in the sky that you're going to meet that's going to atone you and open up the pearly gates of heaven for you. There's no fucking heaven up there. You live in a multi-dimensional world, and you are a sentinel being having a human experience in this world, and you are the avatar in this body. This is your avatar. No different than Elderberry saying that she has a flower on her avatar. This is your avatar. This material, this mass you're in, this bag of bones you're in is your fucking avatar. And this bag of bones is going to wear out. It's going to wear out, just like a car. I mean, good shit. Are there any cars that are, how many cars are around from the 20s, 30s, 40s, right? They sit there in a parking lot or in a field somewhere and they rust. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And here's the thing about the cells that are coming to me. We started as a very simple, not a complex, not a multidimensional cell, we didn't divide like that and evolve like that overnight. So you're not going to heal overnight. It's a process. And a spiritual awakening has phases, and it's a process. And the actual time span in everything I have read is 5 to 7 years. But I think they need to update that literature because I'm 2 years and 5 months in, and I pretty much think I got it figured out. But as soon as you think you have it figured out, Spirit's going to show you otherwise. So the main thing to figure out is that the best accomplishment that you can have in life is to awaken from the habitual mind pattern of thought and free yourself. That's liberation. That's nirvana. That's bliss, right? And until you do, you're on the karmic hamster wheel of life, and it's going to oblige you. The universe will oblige you. If you come from a place of lack, I do. I'm learning. I'm trying to manifest new and learn new. Okay. But for me, it's a process too. So I'm not saying this lightly. I don't sit over here, up here. I'm nowhere. I'm no fucking different than you. You are Christ consciousness. You are the Buddha within. So am I. You and I, we're the same thing. We're the same thing. You want the same thing I want. Love unconditionally, joy, and peace. Those are the 3 things I wanted in life. Unconditional love, joy, and peace. And I couldn't find any of them fucking things in anything I bought, any job I had, or any person I was with. But I got it from the inside of me. Imagine that. It's a conundrum, right? Maybe that's why I didn't know. Because if I knew, maybe I would have been seeking it. I don't know. Hindsight isn't 2020 to me anymore. That's just a dogma. That's just a statement that someone said. And I'm not conforming to the fucking norm anymore. Because the norm has lost its goddamn mind. And if the collective consciousness does not awaken, this planet we're doomed. We're not going to make it. We're not going to ascend. We're not going to evolve. We are the last species. We're the stupidest fucking species on the planet. We don't even use 1/10 of our goddamn brain. The monkeys in the trees and the apes use more of their brain than we do. That speaks volume. Just saying. And I'm not saying it because anybody's different here. We're all the same. I just told you we're all the same. We're just all on our own journey. And until you learn the lesson that journey's taking you on and gain the wisdom from the repeated behavior that you keep repeating, that keeps yielding you the same results and causing you so much pain and suffering in your life and lack, then you'll know. That's why they call it awareness. You can't have awareness if you're not aware. If you don't open your door and somebody tells you it's raining outside, you don't know it's raining unless you open the door and look. Now I know it's raining. Now I have awareness it's raining. Before then, I didn't have awareness. I didn't even know what it was if the sun was out because I hadn't opened my fucking front door. Conformist? No, I didn't mean to imply that. I'm not a conformist, but I did comply to the norm. And what I meant by that, Elderberry, was if if my best girlfriend was driving a red Jaguar, then by God, I had to have one, right? And if she wore this, then fuck, I had to wear that too, right? Or I just wasn't enough, right? That's what I meant. And I conformed in every way. Not conformist like you're speaking. I don't even get my fucking haircut either, right? If I get my haircut, it's probably once in a goddamn blue moon, or I'll just cut it myself because it's just hair. And I really would like to shave my head off. I would. I'd like to go to a monastery and shave my head off. No, I'm kidding. I love my hair. I've been known by my hair, but I'm not identified with it anymore. That's a perfect point. I don't identify with this anymore, and I could shave it. Right? When my son got cancer, that's the first thing I said. Let's shave our heads. When my sister got cancer, let's shave our heads. We'll donate all this hair to Locks of Love. You know, it's just hair. It grows back. It's not that big of a deal, right? And you can't take it with you. It's not going anywhere with you. So all the nursing and all the primping and all the Botox and all that you're doing, you're going to age, you're going to get old, and that's a given. There's nothing you can do about it except embrace it. Embrace it. I'm in midlife, right? And I have probably a good 60 years left in me. Easy, baby. And I'm gonna take every experience, every flower, every food, every color, every music. I'm going to do it all. If whatever I can squeeze in, right? Whatever I can squeeze in, because I have denied myself for a very, very, very long time. And I could never figure out why I couldn't get my shit together. And that's why. That's why. And if I can help somebody and give them guideposts. And so if you say and sit back and go, oh, she's angry. No, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I don't have I don't have a thought in my brain. Honest to God, I don't have a voice in there anymore telling me a word. Someone will say to me something from 2 days ago, and I won't remember what they said. Unless it's an appointment and I wrote it down on my calendar and it was like just a conversation and I'm supposed to remember that or something. I'm gonna ask you again, and it's not personal. It is the fact that Spirit's moving the energy through me so what's the word I could use for that? Fast. I'm just going to say fast. And so she's channeling through me very rapidly because there's a metamorphosis going on from the inside of my body out, and my body's changing. I'm shedding the skin like the praying mantis or the snake. When I began this video, I'm camouflaging myself. I'm relying on spirit, and I'm having faith that if God takes care of a hummingbird on the petal of a rose, is he not going to take care of you and your needs? It's a question you have to ask for yourself. But I know he will. I know he will, and I need not worry of this. I had a friend ask me if I needed money for food. No. I appreciated their kindness and them reaching out to me and asking. No, I'm perfectly fine. I don't need anything. Nothing. What I want is two different things, right? And I want a lot of things in life, right? And now I get an opportunity to go and get them, and to really go and get those things because now I have everything that I want is coming from the inside of me. So now anyone that crosses my path, oh, it's just a beautiful exchange of energy, of people, of the same sentinel being standing in front of me that's identical, and I see consciousness in them. I see the Christ light in them, and I no longer judge them, and I give them a pass, and I forgive them for what they've done, right? But I don't forget. I don't fucking reward bad behavior and pain and suffering that someone deliberately causes to you. I don't advocate that, but you must forgive another for an indiscretion that was done to you, or you won't be forgiven. Can you look at another with such a large splinter in your own eye when you have a fucking boulder in your own? You can't. And you learn compassion and empathy and sympathy, and you turn your cheek and you say, God, they know not what they do. How can I be of service to them? And she shows me. And this is my way of being of service to you. This is my way of giving back to the universe what's so graciously been given to me for free. It didn't cost me a dime. And people would say that I'm wrong and that it cost me a whole lot of suffering. If you don't go through all the things you went through, you're not going to get where you need to be, right? If someone enables you all the way, you're not going to grow and gain the wisdom and the knowledge and the things you need to get here. It's that simple, right? And so if I can give you a guidepost, I want to. I don't know if that meant anything. 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds. 1-11-11. Some people say that's a twin flame number. I don't believe in twin flames. I'm learning about them. And so I no longer can say I don't believe in something. Now I have to investigate it. There's a praying mantis in my yard that's indigenous to my state. The things that have happened to me, I can't explain either. So maybe there is. Who am I to say there isn't? Right? So I walk a middle road now. I just walk a middle road. I don't have any preconceived notion. I don't have any judgment, and I'm not going to cast any. I'm fucking superior and you're inferior of me, because that's not the case. You are identical sentinel being that I am, and we are a minuscule. We are a microcosm of the macrocosm. We're a minuscule. We're like, if you go look up why we're even here, the Big Bang Theory, that's a big pill to swallow, that we're a mistake, right? That we're a Big Bang Theory and we came about by a mistake. That means we're a tiny, 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 tiny part of the process. Here's the conundrum. That tiny process that you are, this world cannot be complete, and God cannot be complete and get his job done without your tiny, tiny, tiny little macro sentinel being doing your part, because you're part of the big puzzle. So I'm going to leave it there for you guys. If you've never seen a praying mantis, please go and check them out. I've never seen them before, and I'm a grower. I've never had them. Excuse me. I got a tickle. I never had them in my garden, but I know a lot of gardeners have them in their garden. They're a predator. They eat other bugs, right? And so I'm going to leave him in my garden, and I'm going to let him go when he chooses to go. And I'm protecting him I think, from my cat. And I went out there and just looked at him before I started the live, and he's underneath. The cat can't even see him. He's a and I'm like, you stupid little girl. He camouflages himself. That cat's not going to see him. Because as I was watching him crawl on the bush, he's turning green today. He went from albino to green. So he's going through his transition. And I caught him at his molten stage. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Just like the mantis, it molts. It changes its skin with every cycle, it says. You must also be open to changes and undergo those cycles and changes and learn to keep up. Whoever doesn't keep up is going to be left behind. There's more to come on the coronavirus and what's going on with the ascension and the astrology from me, because it's no accident we're going through that. The universe is cleansing herself and going through a transition as well. And we are ascending to the 5D. If your phone doesn't already say 5G on it, I don't know where you are. It probably already should. If you have never checked it, maybe check it. You're no longer in the 3D. You are in the 5D. And if you are not, it's because you haven't ascended. And it's not like you're going to get up in a spaceship and be sucked up in Spock's little gas thing, you know? You're going to not even know you're ascending unless you're awake. And you're not even going to know you're staying on the 3D unless you're awake. The light workers that have been awakened since 2018 are in training right now, and Spirit's testing them, testing us. So the only thing you can do is get your, the only way you can do this stuff is to undergo these changes, right? Because if you want to have this emotional and cathartic relief that comes to you with an awakening, be a better listener. Be present in someone's life when you're there. Really hear what they're saying to you. Don't have a preconceived thought and a response when they're talking. You're not even listening to them, right? Be present. Stay in the oneness. A praying mantis is superstitious. A praying mantis also means divinations. A praying mantis also means adoration. And it may be a pointing point to something in your life. That's all. It's just like me. I'm giving you signposts. So the spiritual animals in nature are giving you those subtle hints and hits too. You just might be too busy in here to see it. So just try to slow down, listen, and stay in the consciousness. There is no past and there is no future. You can't show me either one of them. But you're either living in the past or thriving to get somewhere. You're not conscious in either situation there. Okay? So this spirit animal, this video, it might just be a pointing, like a point, a speed bump, a direction, a place for you to turn. The meanings vary from Celtic symbolism to mythology. You can look them up if you want, but if you even think about it, it's courage, persistence, cruelty, veracity. And the reason they say that is because the female will eat the male after she mates with it and kill it. And they camouflage themselves. So the femmes will eat the male. And so that's why they call it cruelty and veracity. And if you don't think our life takes courage, persistence, cruelty, veracity, and people don't camouflage their ass and put on a mask in front of you, you're sadly illusioned and you're living in a state of ignorance. And all I can say is, by the grace of God go I, and I turn the other cheek. You know not what you do. And it's okay. You don't know. When you know, you'll know. It's not personal. And that's how I approach people. People aren't trying to hurt me personally. And I'm never going to hurt another person. Ever. So it's a win-win situation. Good. Thank you so much for stopping in, Altaberry. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming in and sharing the video with me. If you can, please share the content out on your social medias. I'll put it under Cracked Wide Open if people want to see it. I think there's 28 videos up already. I'll be doing some other teaching videos when I can get myself set in some sort of routine. Spirits kind of, I'm not in control. And we're not in control. And so spirit's kind of guiding me right now. And so I'm stilling myself and I'm listening. And I'm listening within. So if I'm missing an action, it is hermit. I'm in a hermit mode. But thank you so much for being here. I love you guys so, so much. You mean the world to me. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart to yours. I honestly do. Namaste.